Hi. So the next piece of equipment that I'd like to revise is the mask. Now, if you saw my video for airbrush tips and tricks for beginners 4, which was about masks, then you will see that I showed you this one, the Sportsta Filter Mask. Has a filter inside. You can watch that video if you want to know more about this. And this one also couldn't cope with the kind of work that I want to do now, because I'm using a bigger needle size. I'm doing lots of blending and fades in, which is kicking out an awful lot of overspray, and this mask just couldn't cope with it. Detail work and small bursts, and I will still be using this one for that. This is how basically this one sits, and I liked it because it didn't have the bulk of the things on the side, and I was worried if I'm close to artwork, etc., that would get in the way. Well, in actual fact, now I've got more experience, I find that I don't tend to get that close anyway. Mind you, I'm not doing so much detail work at the moment, but you can see here, I don't know how close, but you can see this is the filter that I've just taken out recently, and you can see how blue that is, and it was starting to get blue on the inside. And I also noticed that when I blew my nose after I had a painting session, that the tissue was blue. So I thought this is a bad sign. So in here I've now had to I've had to invest in one of these. So I now have a respirator. I've got it in a plastic airtight tub, because as soon as you open these filters up to the air, they start to deteriorate. So they're good for about 40 hours apparently, these filters. So if you use them for an hour, then put them back into a tub that can be sealed airtight, then you make a note on top of. I've got on my lid here, I've just got to think of how many hours I've been using it. So at the moment I've used it for 1. Keep it in there, which means I've still got another 39 to go, whereas if I left it out, I'm just basically exposing it to the air and using up its effectiveness. Okay, so put it on. Hook it at the back. Make sure it has a good tight seal. And the way is to put your hand over this part here and blow. And if you feel any leaks coming out, you've got to move it and adjust it until it fits. Anyway, with this one, obviously I'm well protected. I was worried about my glasses being, having to sit funny, and maybe I wouldn't see so well, but that's not a problem. Anyway, there you go. I now have 2 kinds of protection, and this is got charcoal filters in them. This is specifically for paint spraying, and you have to make sure when you buy these, there's different filters, and you have to make sure you get the right filter for paint spraying, and that goes in there and has to be sealed airtight. And so now I have 2 forms of protection. I've got my filter mask and I've got my respirator. So well protected. If once again, I would suggest, if you have any doubts, then go for the respirator. So I've now ended up with 2 masks. And if you saw my previous video, you'll see I've now got 2 compressors. And if you watch my next video, you'll see that I've got more airbrushes as well. Okay, so there you go. A little bit more advice. You learn as you go along. And yes, if I had to go it again, I would have bought the equipment that I now have probably first. Mind you, I still like this mask for convenience, but obviously with the extra overspray, this just wasn't enough. It just doesn't cope with it. So I needed the other one. But doing small detail work and stuff, this one will be fine and more comfortable to wear. That one is a bit uncomfortable, the other one. But it's better to be safe than sorry. Okay. Cheers.